Hi, and welcome to 360, the format where we cut straight to the point. 3 questions, and per each answer, 60 seconds each. We are very honored today that Mitch Dorsett, the Director of Sales for the QPS scanner line at Rohde Schwarz across the United States, is our first guest. Mitch is an absolute industry expert, and I have to say, a valued friend. There are very few people in the physical security world who know this space as well as he does. And we are very lucky, Mitch, to have you here today with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dennis. And I remember the first time we met in Berlin at the Human-Centered Security Lab, which was a concept that you and some of my colleagues from Germany had kind of come up with to really display and actually show how a dark data center could look, right? As we both, companies are very collaborative. We always stay customer focused. And I think immediately we had a connection and knew that we wanted to do business together. We were doing business for the right reasons, and that we saw the opportunity to really put something out into the market that people have conceptualized, but not really actually put into practice. So I remember starting that day in Berlin and just seeing how our companies have grown together and how we've been able to collaborate is fantastic. So appreciate being here and thanks for all the great things we've done, and look forward to doing more.
We have come a long way. So from like this first concept, as you mentioned, and right now seeing that we go to like trade shows together and seeing the actually customers asking us exactly for that concept of like the automation for like high security and critical infrastructure facilities. So let me start with the first question exactly on that. So based on or with regards to industry insights, as you are very close or in very close contact with security leaders across industries, what is actually the reality that you see when you spend time at their sites?
Well, I think, Dennis, I'm going to start off with something that kind of dates me a little bit, but security is kind of like the Rodney Dangerfield of organizational structures. It gets no respect, and people view it kind of as a necessary evil. But it increases cost, it inconveniences workers and visitors, and it really, the budgets are lacking to really do the job that's necessary for a successful security program.
Interestingly, we see that from the other side that not only like the budgets are lacking, but also like we do not find the people anymore in that market that can do that. So it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, Dennis, I think you're right. I mean, and that's one of the other reasons I think that we both recognize the need to push for automation, right? And really what we're seeing is people are turning to technology to answer those problems, and how technology today can replace the workers, as you mentioned, is if we can even find the workers, but also reduce costs, make the user experience better, and be just more efficient overall in their security programs.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So that was also like the DNA and the reason why we actually started our company. So I couldn't agree more. When we talk about the bigger picture, so I think we both believe that the best solutions, and you have mentioned that how we met each other, like a concept that combines like 2 products to build like the best solution in the market in order to automate and enable like the highest securities. So we both, I think, believe that the best security solutions don't live in silos. And what do you think, or what does it say in your opinion, where the industry is heading?
Yeah, you're spot on, Dennis. The industry is really looking for a holistic approach to their security problem, because there's not just one silver bullet that can take care of all the security answers that they would need to have. But it's looking for solutions that can work together, that can be incorporated, and that kind of allow a security operations center to get the data, to get the feedback, and kind of, as people like to call it, a single pane of glass, right? To see all of the different disparate systems working together and have kind of one dashboard that brings that home.
Yeah. So also here, I couldn't agree more. So that's so funny because we go with that combined solution to the trade shows together and see how the people react, that when they come there and they see, okay, there are like two companies, two products, but when they see how this combined solution works, how they react to that, and then say, oh, this is exactly what I need. I didn't even know that something like this exists.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dennis. And this goes back to the synergy that we've had, personality-wise, company-wise, business-wise, always putting the customer first and trying to solve the solutions and problems that are out in the market today. But it's funny because, like you mentioned, the trade shows, these companies walk up and it's so different to see two independent companies that have the same vision, that have the same strategy, that have the same goals and focus and DNA in what we're doing and why we're doing it. It kind of takes them back, right? Like they don't understand, like, how are you guys working together? And do we have to buy this if we want to buy this? And and it really does resonate with them to see these two companies that are completely separate entities, but have the ability to work together and understand that you can have companies that are working together for that common goal, which is the customer and solving their problems, right? And so it's not all about just what can I get? It's really how we can solve these problems together. And we know that, it's two companies coming together and it's 1 + 1 = 3, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everyone seeing that video sees that drive for this user centricity that Mitch has, that intrigued me from the very first moment I got to know you. And based on that, because I also learned a lot from you already and continue to learn like everything, so like a lot every day, I would also like the audience to have this piece of advice from you. So if you think of like everyone who is now, or what is basically your recommendation for everyone that is like implementing new security technology right now for customers to come? So what would you recommend them?
Well, I think there's really two things that in my mind are the most important. First is you've got to pick the right partner, right? You've got to find people that you trust, people, everybody can do well when things are going well, right? What happens when something doesn't go well, or what happens when it becomes difficult, or what happens when tough decisions need to be made? How are people reacting to that? And in making sure that you have the right partner who's going to be collaborative, who's going to look out for the interests of the customer, and not just themselves, right? It's bringing in new technologies that can make the customer more successful, and it might not impact you as a company, your bottom line, right? But it's good for the customer. I think that's one of the things that we've always done and looked at together, and that's why it's been successful. I'll say the second thing is just don't get caught up in all the hype of the buzzwords of AI and integrated and autonomous and all these things. These are all important, but the reality is that can you do it? Do you have a proof of concept? Do you have examples? Do you have a history of doing this? And I think that's why you guys collaboratively put together the Human-Centered Security Lab in Berlin, is to actually say, here it is. It's not just in theory, right?
Yeah. And to your second point, I guess we already proved it, that this is not what we are looking for, to just follow like a hype. We created this when no one was talking about, because we saw that the market is heading there, and this is what the customer actually needs. So I couldn't agree more. Yeah. All right. So Mitch, thank you so much for being our first guest in this new format. And for our viewers, if you have any questions for Mitch or myself, drop your thoughts and or your questions in the comments, and we will definitely take the time to answer them.
Well, thanks so much, Dennis. It's always nice to be your first, and I look forward to many more of these chats as we work together and do great things together. So thank you.